About a year ago, Monument Grills sent our YouTube channel this pellet smoker to compare to my Pit Boss pellet smoker. And after some in-depth, thorough testing, we determined that the Monument Grill was a piece of crap and the Pit Boss Grill was much better. And I'm here today with the 1-year update. And I can tell you, after 1 year, they're both broken. They are both very broken. So today, we're gonna figure out why they're both broken, and then with a little bit of luck, we're actually gonna be able to use parts from both of them to make one working grill, because I'm supposed to cook dinner tonight, and it's chicken, and I need a grill. First things first, if you're curious how a pellet grill works, this is exactly how they work, now with a exciting and unprecedented inside view. A pellet grill works by heating up pellets. So you start with your little wood pellets here. They go into the hopper. The hopper then uses an auger motor to push your pellets down through a channel into a fire pit, which this one is taken out, but it looks like that. Fire pit has a igniter. The igniter is just an electric heating element. It heats up, and then a blower fan, just like that, blows air through the channel, and well, air and fire, and it just goes and it smokes and it heats up, and that's how you cook your burgers. To control everything, you have a little control panel. You just set your temperature and it goes. As long as there's pellets in the hopper and it's getting electricity, it runs, and so you can cook a hamburger for 10 minutes or you can cook a brisket for 20 hours. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and mine are both broken. And this is the problem with my Pit Boss smoker. You turn it on, you can hear the fans going when you set its temperature. Those are the blower fans, and the problem is the little igniter in here, it never gets warm, it never heats up. So I thought, hey, that's a nice, simple fix. I'm just going to buy a new igniter and put it in. And so I did that, and it still didn't work. I then took the control board out, and there's a fuse on the back of the control board, and I switched that out, and it still didn't work. I then started switching things around, and all of the power connectors, you have power that runs your igniter, power coming in, and then power going to 2 different fans, which made me think, oh, maybe this plug is bad. Unfortunately though, when I get out my multimeter and I test my plug, power is turned on, I get 120 volts, which is what you're supposed to get. That left me a little puzzled, so I decided to test the igniter that I just taken out. And the igniter, an electrical current goes through it, there's some resistance, and it heats up. And a little research online tells me I should have 75 ohms of resistance on my igniter, and that's exactly what I get. So I'm getting power to it, and it has the right resistance. Maybe the only thing left is maybe the board is actually bad, and it's getting volts, but not enough amps to actually heat up my igniter. Fortunately, that can also be tested. Since all these plugs are the same, I unplugged one of my fan plugs. I plugged my igniter into where the fan goes, and we know the fan works. Turn everything back on, and well, you'll have to believe me on this one, but my igniter, it starts heating up when it's hooked into the fan plug. So that's telling me this board has gone bad. Specifically, power going out to my igniter doesn't work anymore. One other thing that had me a little concerned when I was doing this is my motor that powers the auger, that turns the auger, it's just flopping around in there willy-nilly. I mean, it's not broken yet, but that looks like something that's definitely going to break. And if we come look at the Monument Grill, we have the opposite problem. The igniter heats up, gets nice and hot in there, but this fan right here doesn't blow anymore. So there's not air blowing through, you're not getting smoke blowing through, and it won't keep the combustion going. Which is funny because when we tested these a year ago, the problem with the Monument Grill was like, it didn't heat up enough, it didn't heat up as fast, and it never got smoky. So I'm thinking that fan is either a very low quality fan or is just always broken to begin with, out of the box. Another thing, which is really interesting, is the auger over here, it's also not attached to anything. It's just glued down to this little bracket. And the more you look at these, you look at the insides of them, they are basically identical. The hopper is the same, the motors are the same, and most importantly, the control boards, not only do they look the same on the outside, but on the inside, they're even more identical. I think you can probably already see where this is going. We're going to take the Pit Boss grill that has the good beefier fans, or at least the fans that from the beginning have been working. And we're going to take the control board from the Monument grill, which has all of the right and all of the same connections, and in theory is going to let our hot end work. And we're gonna put it all together. And with a little bit of our Monument grill and a lot of our Pit Boss grill, I'm gonna be able to cook dinner. Here comes Demery. She's not gonna want to be on the camera. There she is.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Are you about to test it?
Yes.
Okay, great.
If this works, we get to eat dinner. If this doesn't work, Chick-fil-A?
Yeah.
See that girl?
Yes.
See this girl?
Yes.
You see that?
Uh-huh.
We've combined parts from both of them.
Oh, wow.
And if our combination works, we get dinner. Okay, so we'll turn the grill on. Light comes on, we got power, that's good. We're gonna put it in. We'll be back. Shouldn't be making that noise. Attempt number 2. Those little fans that we had talked about, apparently you need to make sure all the wires are not wrapped up in the fans before you turn it on. But some zip ties, we took care of that. So, power on, it's ready to go. We should see little pieces of wood start pellets going into our pellet hopper. We hear the fans going. Is our igniter, our hot end, heating up? Ooh, it's warm. It's warm to the finger. I'm gonna open the garage door so we don't smoke out the garage here. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll see a fire in a couple seconds. In case we don't see a fire, I'm gonna get my punishment pickle beer out. And also, stay tuned. Stay tuned in a couple weeks for that. We got something special planned for that pickle beer. I see flame. I think chickens for dinner tonight. It smells smoky. I see a little bit of fire. If we have a flame going in about another minute, I think we pulled it off. So we used the control board from our Monument grill. We used the fans and everything else from our Pit Boss. This one is now officially dead. It's got the bad fans. It's got no control board. I started taking some parts off of it because I did like this little shelf and I was going to put it on there, but then I decided I really don't care that much. I think before this thing goes in the recycle bin, I am going to take this little motor off because the one that's in there, you saw it flopping around. The next thing that breaks in that grill is probably going to be this little fan, so I'd like to keep a backup around. And I think, do we have a fire yet? I think it's going to work. I will see you at the grill right about now. It is the next day, and I have to tell you, our Frankenstein Monument Pit Boss pellet grill fix actually worked because I was able to eat chicken, and it was not raw chicken, although we did have dinner at 9:30 at night because it took me longer to get things working than I thought. But it actually worked so well, I think it's time we do a full test. So I have the hopper full of wood pellets, and the fire is going. We're heating up to 225 degrees because we're going to spend the next about 16 hours smoking what will hopefully be some delicious, tasty pulled pork. And it's supposed to rain for the next 3 days, so we have this set up. I know it's not the best idea to essentially cook indoors, smoke indoors. We have a fire extinguisher, so it'll be fine. In about 15 hours, I'll either burn down my backyard or I'll have delicious, delicious pork. Let's see. Good news, bad news. Good news, my pellet grill works again. Bad news, it's still raining in Texas, so I'm hiding under my blue awning because all it does is rain around here anymore. More importantly though, the pellet grill. So I cooked quite a few things on this in the last few days. We did the chicken kebabs, which did not give me food poisoning. We did some veggies one night. I smoked a pulled pork, like 11, 12 pound pulled pork. That was fun. I did the math and thought it would be done at 5 p.m. Turns out I'm bad at math. It was done at 5 a.m. So that was a really early morning, but the pulled pork was good. Overall, it worked really well. It actually works just as well as it did before. We have our controller from the old Monument Grill, and then everything else is, well, it's from Pit Boss, which leads me to think that this is gonna break again. I think the next place that it breaks is the little auger motor that's just loosey-goosey in there. And I did take the old auger motor off of the Monument Grill before I went to the big recycling bin in the sky. And the thought is, when it does break again, do I replace it with another pellet grill? Because my green egg, my charcoal grill, you just put charcoal in it and it works. Or a gas grill, you put gas in it and maybe the igniter goes out, or maybe you have to replace some burner bars, but it works. This thing, I never thought I would be replacing a control board on a grill so I could cook meat with fire. I love my pellet grill. This brand, I think, is fine. It's not the best. Clearly, it breaks. But yeah, I don't know if when this thing does die, and I'm certain it will die again, do I replace it? I'm thinking probably not. So if you like my delicious opinion, please let me know in the comments below. Am I stupid and I just don't know how to use a pellet grill? Probably. I'd love to hear from you. And until next time, I'm going to go cook more things in the rain because that's what you do with a barbecue. And if I can't cook dinner, I have charcoal, my charcoal grill, because let's be honest, yeah, maybe you should just stick with the charcoal grill because I've never had a control board go out on a grill until I got into pellet grills. And then Steven did drop off some pickle beers recently, so if this fails, I'll be having pickle beer and raw chicken for dinner.